Hey, I'm Cornelis and welcome to Your Band is a Business, the place where I discuss the day-to-day realities of being an independent musician. I have a couple of things to talk about today, but it's all centered around SubmitHub and how I've been using it to get on some Spotify playlists. Now, over the past couple of weeks, as you've seen in my previous videos, I've had some really good success recently, whereas in the past I've was never accepted onto any playlists. With my latest song, I've been added to 14 in total, and that has meant that my listenership, my monthly listenership on Spotify has grown from 200 monthly listeners to, well, currently, as you can see on the dashboard, it sits at 465 monthly listeners. Now, I understand that the listeners that you get from playlists are not the most engaged listeners. It's not the same as somebody that is a real fan of you, right? Because people will follow playlists and they will just stick them on in the background and they will passively listen to the music. And that is different from somebody that decides, you know what, I really need to hear a Cornelis Gerard song right now, right? I completely understand that. But there are some benefits to being added to playlists, and I will talk about those later. But yeah, as you can see, so far I've had some good results, and considering that the average time that that a song is on these playlists, a month, 6 weeks, perhaps 2 months, that means that if the current trend holds, then I might hit 600 monthly listeners at some point. Now, again, as I said in my last video, I went after playlists that had a reasonable acceptance rate on the SubmitHub platform. But then I thought to myself, okay, perhaps I should go after the more exclusive playlists. And my reasoning was that those curators, they might have access to the acceptance rate of my song by other curators. They might see the positive reviews that my song has gotten. So perhaps those things will count towards me having a better chance of being accepted to these more exclusive playlists. So anyway, a week ago, I filtered for all the curators that had an acceptance rate of 15% or lower, and I submitted my song to 20 of those curators. So, do you want to see what the results of that were? Of course you do. Let me show you. So, as you can see here, it was this here. Indie rock alternative. So April 14th, 19 out of 20. So I submitted 20 and then 2 more here, so 22 in total. 3 refunded, and I'm still waiting for the response from 1 more. If I go to responses and scroll down, you will see declined. Anyway, they were all declined. So I had 0 playlist, 0 songs accepted by these curators for these more exclusive playlists. Now, when I look at the reasons that they give, as expected, they're all kind. They say, "Oh, it's a good song, but it's not really for me." I also see contradictory reasons. So one person will say, I like the vocals. The other person says, I don't like the vocals. One person says, I like the raw guitars. The other person says, I don't like the raw guitars. So it's all a bit contradictory. So I don't take it personally. I'm not upset in any way. It's disappointing, but these were the playlists with a lower acceptance rate, so it was always going to be a challenge. I did spend money on this, I think 40 or 50 pounds, so what is that, $60-$70, something like that, for the premium credits, because you need premium credits to be able to apply to these playlists. there is a way to get free premium credits, and go check out my previous video where I show you how to do that. So it's a combination of credits that I paid for and credits that I received for free. So yeah, the result is zero playlists. Previously, I was accepted to a total of 14 playlists, and these were the playlists that had a higher acceptance rate, so higher than 15%. Now, as you can see on the SubmitHub platform, it shows you what it thinks, how many monthly listeners you will receive, and it says here 900 to 1500. Now, I suspected that would be an overestimation, so yeah, I don't think I will hit that, but as I said earlier, based on current trends, perhaps I could hit 600, so I'm hoping for that. Now, as I said earlier, I understand that these are not the most engaged listeners, so why am I doing this? Why am I spending time, energy, money trying to get on these playlists? Well, there are a couple of reasons. One is to give more data points to Spotify so that they can better identify what genre my music belongs to and what other artists are similar to me. So I'll just quickly pop over to Spotify, and let me just go to my profile here. Now, more than a couple of weeks ago now, it's a couple of months ago, one of my songs was added to a bot playlist, right? A playlist that didn't look real, and I reported it straight away. And I was removed from that playlist. The playlist was taken down. That was great, but it did mess with my recommendations for a while. So if I just go down here to my fans also like, so all of the artists were just not really in my genre at all, which was a shame. Now it has returned to stuff that is in my wheelhouse, my genre as it were, so indie rock, alternative rock type of artists, so that's really good. Also, when I look at the Cornelis Gerard radio, so the artist radio, all of these artists are again indie rock, alternative rock, and also sometimes I see artists that are based in London. So I know Laurie Wright here, for example, is based in London, and over the past week I saw a band called Sweet Unrest, which is a band based in London as well as The Trusted, who are actually based in Norwich, that do sometimes perform in London as well. So it's good to see that my artist radio station and my fans also like section is reflecting what I think it should in terms of who I am as an artist and what genre, what type of music I make, basically. So that's a good indication. As well as that, there is the Spotify popularity score. So in case you don't know, Spotify looks at all kinds of metrics to determine how popular your song is, right? How many playlists you've been added to, how many people save your song, how long people listen to your song. And there's a website called musicstacks.com, STAX, musicstacks.com, and there you can look up your music and you can see different data points that it gets from the Spotify API, and one of them is the popularity score. And as you can see, my song Passion is Aggression is now at 11% popularity, and that is by far the highest that I've ever achieved. So that is good. Now again, I understand that this is contingent on the fact that I've been added to a bunch of playlists. At some point I will rotate out of some of those playlists, right? They will refresh them, add new artists, remove others. So over time, over the coming weeks, I most definitely will be removed from most or all of those playlists, and I assume that that will affect the popularity score, and of course my monthly listenership will go down as well. But hopefully I have gained a couple of permanent listeners, as it were, so fans, people that have that liked what they heard, that one, they were listening in the background and they thought, oh, actually I like that one, and they checked me out and listened to some more music, and that means that, okay, the popularity score will go down again, but I gained something from it, and my monthly listenership will go down, but I will have gained something from it. And there are some signs that hopefully that is the case, because the average stream per listener is more than one, right? So it's 1.447. So the average person listens to more than one song, which is good. And you can see there are some saves and there are some playlist adds, and there have been some followers over the past couple of weeks. So it's it seems to be the case that some people have liked what they heard and they decided to check out what I'm doing, and are a low-level fan, shall we say, somebody that has decided that they want to hear more of my music and they like it. So that's good. Now, is that worth I must have spent maybe $150 in total, $120, $150, or 50 quid to 100 quid. I can't quite remember. Is it worth that? I think as an experiment, it was definitely worth the first 50 quid, right? Because that got me onto the 14 playlists. It wasn't the second 50 quid was a waste of money, as it were. It was a learning experience, right? It's not a waste. I spent £50 on some education. So for myself, I know, okay, maybe don't go after those playlists that have a lower than 15% acceptance rate, because you have a very small chance of being accepted. And even if I had been accepted to one or two, it's not like those playlists had so many more subscribers, followers, whatever you want to call it, that it would have given me thousands of listeners. That's not the case, right? So would I do it again? Yes, for the playlists that have a higher than 15% acceptance rate, not for those that have a lower than 15% acceptance rate. And what I am interested in doing next is to go back to the playlist, to the curators that accepted this song, Passion is Aggression, and ask them to check out another song of mine, which is called A Dose of Truth, which is a similar alt rock type of song that I think they will like. If they like Passion is Aggression, then perhaps they will like that song as well. That's one of the good things about the Submit Hub platform, is that you can save the curators that you want. So there's different lists basically that you can save them in. So if you have a bunch of curators that you are doing well with, then save them to a list, right? And then you can approach them again in the future. So that's definitely something that I want to do once this bump in listenership has leveled off, as it were. So I want because if I come to them with another song, they are unlikely to have two of my songs on a playlist, right? So I want to wait until they've had the chance to remove me, and then I can come back with another song. So on average, apparently it's usually a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks that they keep you on a playlist before they rotate you out. Okay, so that's what's been going on in terms of Submit Hub. I have an exciting week coming up because I'm going to be performing 3 shows in 3 different countries. I'm going to be performing in Lithuania, then back here in London with my band, and then in Germany. And it's going to be fun to play gigs, and also it's going to be an opportunity to create some really cool social media content. So keep an eye out for that, because I'm going to talk about my thoughts about how to make the most out of those kinds of opportunities. And obviously check me out on here on YouTube on my artist channel, Cornelis Gerard, because at the end of the day, I'm just figuring this out myself, right? I'm learning as I'm going, and I'm walking the walk. I'm not just talking the talk, right? So if ever I'm quiet on here on Your Band is a Business, go check out my artist profiles on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, to see what I'm doing and what I'm trying out. Because at the end of the day, the point of this channel is not to be theoretical, right? It's all about how I am trying to figure out this music business thing as an independent artist. Okay, that's it for now. I'm really interested to hear what you're doing at the moment to promote your music. Let me know in the comments, and then we can all grow together. I'll speak to you guys next time.